are you enjoying the first ever TEDx Youngstown? Yes? Great. I know I'm having a great time. Today has been a wonderful day. I've enjoyed meeting with some of you during the breaks, and then more importantly, getting to listen to all of the speakers talk and communicate about their innovative ideas worth spreading. And so today, I'll be talking about communication and how it impacts our lives every single day. So today, I'll be talking about the history of communication, how communication impacts my life personally, and then also how we can use communication as a movement to change what's going on in the community, and how we can use social media and other forms of communication to move forward. So first off, I want to ask all of you a favor. I want all of you, on the count of 3, to say TEDx Youngstown, okay? So hold on one moment. You ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Great. I just made a Vine. Okay, so Vine, how many of you have ever heard of Vine? Okay, great. So Vine is just one of the newest forms of social media that can be used to communicate to other people. It's been a great tool along with other pieces of social media. So today, let me tell you first, what is communication? Communication is the transfer of information or news between individuals. And so think about it. How often do we use communication in our daily lives? How many of you have sent a text message today? How many of you have talked to other people or sent an email? That is all forms of communication. And so in my life, communication has played a big role. First, if you think about it, communication. How many forms of communication are there? There is the facial communication, ways you express yourself, or the gesture. I don't really know what's going on right now. Or if you also think about it, the way we communicate, the way we talk. And so history of communication has changed over times. If you think about it in the past with the cavemen, how did they communicate? They communicated through grunts and then also through drawings. And then also, if you think about how we're doing it now, we're all changing using communication. So if you think about it, the way we communicate with others and ourselves ultimately determines the quality of our lives. This was stated by Anthony Robbins, and this is true. The way we communicate, what we communicate, all impacts how we live our lives. And the way we can do that is by doing something and by sharing information that's positive. And so communication in my life has played a big role. I love using social media. I love tweeting. I love talking. And then I also encourage writing and the verbal communication. So most people, when they think about social media, they think about Twitter, which how many tweets do you think there are per second? There are over 143,199 tweets that are sent out per minute. How many users of Facebook are there? There's over 1.4 billion users. I myself use Facebook to communicate with family overseas, as well as use Skype and other forms of social media. So I have a funny story. Over the summer, I went to the Philippines, and I also went with another cousin that lives fairly close by. And something interesting happened. I had a very close relationship with my family member in the Philippines because we continuously Skype, we continuously Facebook, versus my other cousin that's here, where we just said, how do you know what's going on? And the comment was, through Facebook, through social media. And it's because we're sharing information daily, sharing information on how we can about what's going on with our lives. We're sharing information, we're sharing news. And that's also what's going on within our community. How can we make a change? So if you think about what's going on in Youngstown or within the Youngstown Business Incubator, how do you make a change? How do you share information? How do you innovate? Or how do you inspire people? It's through the communication of ideas, the communication that we can use to inspire others. And so, if you look at communication in the area, how can we make a change? Youngstown, Ohio, it's been known as being an area as the Rust Belt. How can we make a difference? There's so many good things going on in the community right now, and it's by communication through social media. How many people knew outside of this area that the Youngstown Business Incubator has over 53 different companies or employ over 500 individuals? Well, the biggest way we can share that information to make the impact is by sharing the information, by communicating. And so by communicating, we can either do that vocally or through print media, the development of content media, and then also the sharing of social media. There's so many different platforms that are out there right now, and the best one is through YouTube, through Twitter, by really communicating to hundreds of millions of people. It was stated that the speech is power, speech to persuade, and speech to convert and compare can bring bad sense to good sense. So if you think about it, as we share good information, share good common sense, then we can only impact the community for the better. And so using my life as an example, we can really just share information and positive information moving forward. And so TEDx has been a great event, and we can only continue to move forward with better ideas through ideas and through the power of innovation.